All right, let's get into it. Today we're tackling Jed Mckenna, who is, without a doubt, one of the most intense and controversial figures in modern spirituality. His whole message, it's not about finding peace and love or becoming a better version of yourself. No, it's about something way more radical. And it all kicks off with this single, incredibly high-stakes idea.
Right out of the gate, Mckenna lays it all on the line. This quote isn't just some fancy intro for his book. It's his entire philosophy boiled down to 4 words: stake life upon truth. He's telling you, look, this isn't a weekend workshop. This is about betting your entire existence on finding out what's actually real.
You know, the search for enlightenment is as old as we are. We all want some kind of deeper truth. But Mckenna's whole approach starts by throwing this massive, maddening paradox right in your face, one that basically makes the whole quest seem impossible from the get-go.
I mean, this is the question, right? It's what every seeker asks. How can I get there? How can I become enlightened? We have this picture in our heads of a future us, wiser, calmer, happier. We think of it as this prize we can win. But Mckenna's answer just completely demolishes that entire fantasy.
And there it is, the ultimate cosmic catch-22. The very you, your ego, that sense of self that wants so badly to be enlightened, is the one thing that can't ever have it. It's the wall you're trying to get over. The seeker is the very thing you're trying to escape from. Now, to really get this, we have to look at how Mckenna sees reality itself.
So, according to Mckenna, we are all asleep. Not literally, of course, but we're living inside this self-made illusion he calls the dream state. It's the reality we all just kind of agree on, but it isn't actually true. And he explains this with this really fantastic analogy about a movie theater.
Just think about the last time you were at the movies, and you were completely, totally sucked into the film. You're in the dark, the story kicks in, and the entire outside world just vanishes. That simple experience, that is the key to understanding his whole take on reality.
And you do this on purpose, right? You choose to forget it's just a movie so you can get lost in the story. The characters, the drama, all of it, that becomes your reality for a couple of hours. Well, Mckenna's big point is that our everyday life is exactly like that. We're so caught up in the drama of our own identity, our own story, that we've totally forgotten we're just watching a movie.
And this is that first little spark of waking up. A tiny moment where you doubt the story. A little crack appears. You, the person watching the movie, you suddenly get this feeling that you're only here because you're choosing to be, that the chains are imaginary, and you realize you could just stand up.
This is the breakout moment. See, waking up isn't about making the movie better or getting a happier ending. It's about realizing you're in a theater in the first place. It's turning away from the screen to see the projector, the thing creating the whole illusion. But if it's that simple, if the shackles are unlocked, why does pretty much nobody ever leave their seat?
Because we're terrified, absolutely terrified of what we might find or what we might not find if we turn the movie off. That character on the screen, our ego, it's all we know. The idea that it might not be real, that is the deepest, most primal terror there is. It's the fear of just not existing. And that fear is what keeps us glued to our seats.
Okay, so if fear is the lock, how do you break out? Mckenna doesn't suggest a quiet, gentle path. He suggests a bonfire. He has a very specific, and honestly, a pretty brutal method for torching every last one of your illusions.
He calls this process spiritual autolysis. And autolysis literally means self-digestion. So this isn't about learning new things or adopting a new philosophy. It is a process of destruction. You take a belief, any belief you hold, and you just write and think and dig until you've proven to yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's not true. Then you find the next one and the next until there's literally nothing left to stand on.
This poem, Refiner's Fire, just perfectly captures the violence of this whole idea. Autolysis is a war against everything that isn't true. The thinking is really simple. If you throw everything you are into the fire, everything false will just burn up. And the only thing that could possibly survive an inferno like that is whatever is unburnable, whatever is absolutely undeniably true.
Mckenna even breaks it down into 3 pretty stark steps. First, you have to see it. You have to identify a core belief, an attachment, some part of your ego that needs to go. Second, you kill it. Through that relentless questioning, you just dismantle the thing until it has zero power over you. And third, you clean up the mess. You have to deal with the fallout, the emotional chaos of having a piece of yourself ripped away. It's not pretty.
So as you can probably guess, this whole process, it requires a pretty specific state of mind. It's not calm or peaceful. It's ferocious. It's obsessive. And to really explain this mindset, McKenna points to one of the most famous madmen in all of literature.
Captain Ahab, from Moby Dick. To McKenna, Ahab isn't just some crazy guy hunting a whale. He is the perfect symbol for the spiritual warrior. He is what McKenna calls the breakout archetype, the person who is willing to sacrifice absolutely everything for one single, all-consuming goal.
So why Ahab? Because he is completely monomaniacal. He has one single obsession that blots out everything else in his life, his family, his ship, his crew, his own life. And McKenna's argument is that this is the exact kind of relentless, focused energy you need to break out of the dream state. You have to want truth more than anything, more than being comfortable, more than being happy, more than being alive.
So after all of this, after the fire, after hunting the white whale, after spiritual autolysis has just torn down your entire idea of who you are, what's actually left at the end of it all? This is where McKenna's whole message gets really, really unsettling.
And here we are, right back where we started, at that fundamental conflict. The ego, the you that you think you are, wants enlightenment more than anything. But that very same ego can't achieve it. The whole journey is a quest for a state where there is no self, which, of course, the self can never reach. So, what actually happens when that self is finally gone for good?
And this is the wildest part. The end result isn't a better, happier you. That enlightened person you dreamed of becoming, they don't exist, because the goal was never to improve yourself, it was to annihilate yourself. When the illusion of you is finally gone, burned away to nothing, what's left is just what is. Not a person who has the truth, but simply truth itself.
Which leaves us all with one last, unavoidable question. Look, it's easy to say, I want to know the truth, but McKenna's work forces you to look at the price tag. He makes you really ask yourself what you're willing to pay. So, if you had to destroy everything you are, just to find out what is true, would you actually do it?